everyone, it's Michaela. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my honest thoughts on the new documentary Seaspiracy. I believe Seaspiracy came out earlier last week. I know it hasn't been out for more than a week and a half. So it's very new. It's on Netflix. If you guys want to watch this documentary before you watch this video, please feel free. It is on Netflix. This is going to start a little series on my YouTube channel, my honest thoughts on blank, and it's going to be all about different documentaries. I have a whole list of documentaries on my phone because documentaries, as we know, can be very one-sided, very biased, and very emotionally driven. Before you make your assumptions on Seaspiracy and form your opinion, make sure to watch the movie. Don't just take what I say or what someone else says and say, okay, that's my opinion, that's what I'm gonna go with. Please watch the documentary for yourself, form your own opinions. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy and let's dive in. I'm looking on my phone. I have a whole Google Doc of my thoughts. First things first, they open the movie talking about plastic and how plastic is a really big problem, which I agree with. Plastic in our oceans is 100% a very big problem, but they don't really talk about how you can help that. So the ways I help with plastic pollution and reducing my plastic footprint is bamboo toothbrushes, reusable utensils. They did mention that in the film, which I think is great because not a lot of people think to bring their own utensils when they go eat fast food or go grab something through the drive-thru. Using a reusable water bottle, there are probably hundreds of brands out there. Swell, Hydro Flask, Hydro Jug, like anything. Just search up Amazon reusable water bottle and pick one of those. One thing I wish they did mention are plastic baggies for sandwich bags. They did, I believe, mention like grocery bags, single-use plastic grocery bags, but in the grand scheme of things, plastic sandwich baggies are 10 times more of a problem than grocery bags. I remember I was making my lunch one day going to school and I looked at my lunch and there was 6 or 7 plastic bags. So 6 or 7 plastic bags a day times, let's just say 5 days a week I go to school. That is 30 to 35 plastic bags a week for one person. And times that by, let's say, there were 2,000 kids at my high school. So let's do 30 times 2,000. That is 60,000 plastic bags for my high school in 1 week. Next, I'm really glad they brought up the topic of Taiji, because not a lot of people know that that's happening. I talk about it on like my Instagram and people will DM me saying, oh my God, I had no idea that this was happening and that this was going on. So I definitely applaud them for including that. The way they included it, I'm not so sure because they tied it to the tuna industry, which, don't get me wrong, the international fishing and like commercial fishing is a really big problem. However, I don't see how the dolphin drive a bald eagle. I don't see how the dolphin drive comes into play with that because they're simply not killing dolphins because of the tuna depletion and the tuna, like they're trying to save the tuna population. If you guys haven't seen the documentary, The Cove, I highly recommend that you do watch it. It's all about the Taiji dolphin drive. Rico Berry's in it and they go to Japan and they see firsthand on what is actually happening. Oh, another bald eagle. Oh wait, no. That's a raven. The ravens are huge here. The Taiji dolphin hunters are not killing dolphins to save the tuna population. They're killing dolphins because dolphin meat is still eaten in Japan. I don't know why in the film that they said that it's not, there's no need, or there's not a, how did they word it? There's not a demand for dolphin meat, but there is because it's still sold in Japanese markets. Base idea of the movie that the biggest problem in the ocean is overfishing and that is what is killing our oceans is fundamentally correct. Commercial fishing and industrial fishing is a very big problem And it's not only that they're fishing so much that fish populations are declining, it's that so many of that fishing gear ends up in our ocean, and that will break down and create microplastics. It's the entanglements because of that fishing gear. I think they said 300,000 whales and dolphins are killed in entangled fishing gear a year. I did look up that statistic. I think it's pretty accurate. And over 250,000 sea turtles are caught as bycatch or are injured because of these fishing gears and discarded fishing nets. I'm not gonna get into the whole like interviews and everything in this movie because that's just a whole other mess that I didn't look into. I'm gonna be talking about more like the actual fishing part. So like I said, fishing nets make up, I think I forgot the percentage. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But they make up a certain number of percentage, and I know it's a high percentage of plastic pollution and microplastics and waste in the ocean because it's just simply not regulated. I do like that they were spreading the message about, oh, use less single-use plastic, because plastic straws make up, I think it was like 0.03% of plastic leading into the ocean and going into the ocean, because like I said, the majority of that is from discarded fishing lines and fishing gear. I really loved how they brought in the shark finning trade into this film, because that is one fishing industry that I forgot her name. I think her name's Madison. Some marine biologist went to Indonesia where a lot of this shark finning is happening, and she kind of converted them to tourism instead of fishing, because I think in Indonesia they are having to go so far offshore because they are like fishing all the sharks and killing all the sharks in their little island area. And I think now they do like shark tourism boats to make all their money, because okay, let's be honest here. The fishing industry employs 60 million people each year, and the answer is not to cut out the fishing industry and just wipe them clean. It's just simply not. And that is where I have a really big problem with this film, because they are saying, nope, you just need to cut out seafood entirely. No one should ever eat seafood, because that's just simply not possible. Seafood, some people rely on seafood for their protein if they're pescatarian, or if it's a medical thing or whatever. A lot of people rely on fish for their protein every single day of every single year. Going off of that, I really did not like Sea Shepherd in this film, and I will tell you why. I used to love Sea Shepherd as a kid. I loved watching Whale Wars. I loved following them on Instagram and hanging out on their website. I loved it, but they just do not have reputable information and reputable facts anymore. They wrote a book about killer whales in captivity at SeaWorld, and someone went through it and bought it and like looked through it, and half the information in there is false. Either they labeled a whale wrong and they are telling people wrong facts about them, like ages and stuff. So in my mind, Sea Shepherd really isn't that credible for statistics or information anymore. They do great work. However, they're not as reliable as people seem to think they are. According to Sea Shepherd, everyone should stop eating fish because there is no such thing as sustainable fishing. I think that is a bunch of baloney. Living up in Alaska for the past couple months, I have met commercial fishermen. A lot of the girls at my school are commercial fishermen, and some of them follow me on Instagram, and we've talked for a little bit. And Alaska and the United States in general is pretty good at regulating our fishing and making sure it is sustainable. I myself choose not to eat seafood. Number one, I don't really like the way it tastes, except if it's like sea bass or halibut. And the other reason is I just don't want to support the fishing industry, and that is not me saying that you need to stop eating fish, because like I said, that's just simply not possible. Not everyone can stop eating seafood. That is a personal decision that you need to make yourself, and look at your diet. I did not eat seafood very often. I think I ate it once in a while when like my brother or my grandpa or my boyfriend would go fishing and catch some fish. And then after that, I just kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't eat it very often. I don't really enjoy the taste of much seafood. I really like squid, but the squid industry, I just don't want to support that. So that is a decision that you need to make based off of your personal life and your personal diet. There is sustainable fishing. My boss, who grew up in the fishing industry, told me that $5 and $6 cans of tuna that you find at the grocery store are so different than I don't even know what brand. I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but it's like maybe $1, $2 a can. That is so much different. The two don't even compare, he told me. $5 or $6 cans of tuna are caught in the Pacific Northwest with a hook and a lure, and he was telling me that it almost eliminates bycatch completely because there's no nets and they're not catching them in lump sums of 100 plus tuna. Where I was going with this is if you really do enjoy eating fish and you just don't want to cut it out of your diet, which you are allowed to do, like I said many times, then look for more sustainably caught fish. And don't listen to Sea Shepherd when they say there's no such thing as sustainable fishing, because there is. They just don't want you to eat fish because they want to completely destroy the fishing industry and commercial fishermen. So instead of buying the $2 can of tuna, buy the $5 or $6 can of tuna, and you are supporting sustainable fishing, and in that way you are going to ensure that you're going to be able to eat that tuna for years and years to come because it's sustainably caught. My boss also said it tastes better, so I don't know about you guys, but I would rather pay more for something that tastes good than a little less for something that doesn't taste as good. I also want to touch on the statement there will be empty oceans by 2048 if we keep going the way we are going. That's false. That paper was actually refuted in 2009 and was proved false in 2009, which I didn't know. I learned that by watching someone else's video on Seaspiracy. So like I said, before you make your opinion on Seaspiracy, watch multiple people, because multiple people have multiple different perspectives, and this documentary genuinely wanted you to feel sad and wanted you to feel emotions, like a lot of documentaries do. So yeah, that was refuted, that was proved wrong, and there's actually no downward of fisheries. I do want to say there's probably downward of fish populations just because of how much some species are fished, but I don't think there will ever be an empty ocean. I think there will be more pieces of plastic in the ocean than fish, but I don't think there will ever be no fish in the ocean. Let's move on to farmed fish, because I always thought farmed fish were better than wild caught fish, when in reality, that's not true at all. The movie was saying that farmed fish really aren't sustainable, and I kind of have to agree with them. I don't like the idea of farmed fish. We see it harming the Pacific Northwest southern resident killer whales, because when you have farmed fish, think of it as one of those big goldfish tanks you see at Petco or PetSmart, and you walk up to it. How many dead ones do you see in there? Probably like 4, 5, maybe upwards of 10. How many injured ones do you see in there? Ones with tumors, ones with, well, God knows what's wrong with them. Probably a little more than half, or just about half of them. And then you have the other half, which are healthy. But when you keep dead and sick and injured fish in with healthy fish, that water is going to be contaminated, and it is going to in turn affect the healthy fish. So in my opinion, farmed fishing is not sustainable. The film mentioned that they need more fish to feed the farmed fish, which I did not look into that, but I already knew I did not like farm fishing because of what is happening in the Pacific Northwest with the southern resident killer whales. Between farmed fish and wild caught fish, if I had to choose, I would honestly choose the wild caught one, because at least some wild caught fish are caught sustainably. I don't believe that any farmed fisheries are sustainable. Maybe there are a few that are like super odd and super out of character for farmed fisheries, and they are sustainable. I'm personally not super knowledgeable about farmed fisheries. Maybe I can get a fisheries student on my YouTube channel one day. That would be really cool. I'll have to talk to some people, but let me know if you guys would want to see that. My focus is marine mammals, but there are a lot of people at my school who are here for the fisheries program and who are commercial fishermen, so I might just add that to my list. After going through all of this, I have sat here for like 30 minutes rambling on and on. But after going through all of that, let's talk about my overall feelings and rating of this film. So I rate this film, let's give it a 6.5 out of 10 because it does do a good job of bringing these problems that the ocean is having to light, because not a lot of people know what's happening. Not a lot of people know that the Taiji dolphin hunt is happening, or the pilot whale hunt in, I forgot where it was, wherever it is. A lot of people do not know that so many whales, dolphins, and sea turtles and other marine animals are being killed every year for that halibut or for that tuna that they're buying at the store. But I do not like their message saying, completely cut out seafood. There's no sustainable seafood. I don't like that at all. Like I said, the fishing industry employs 60 million people around the world year-round, and why would we want to cut that out? Why would we want to make 60 million people unemployed? I don't understand. I do not like it that the film is not telling you how to change. They're telling you that you need to cut it out completely. They should have told you, okay, this is a few ways that you can eat sustainably caught seafood, and this is a few ways that you can help the fishing industry improve. But no, instead they're like, we want to cancel the fishing industry completely and we want to shut them down, and we just want to basically have no fishing boats on the ocean and we should never eat fish again. That rubbed me the wrong way because that's just simply not possible, as I have said so many times in this video. So like I said, 6.5 out of 10. It was mediocre. It made you feel a lot of emotions, especially at the grinned part. I don't even want to go into that. I'll start crying again. So those were my honest thoughts on the documentary Seaspiracy. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this series, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and comment any documentaries that you guys want to learn more about. I have a video on my honest thoughts about blackfish coming very, very soon. I'm so excited to film that. Killer whales and killer whale captivity are my ish. They are my topic. I can talk hours about them. But if you guys have any other documentaries you want me to review, leave them down below. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!